The Prime Minister and her Justice Minister are under pressure to explain exactly what would become a criminal offence under proposed hate speech laws. A new, clearer offence in the Crimes Act may be created, with penalties that could range from 3 months to 3 years jail and fines up to $50,000. The plan's been condemned by the opposition as Orwellian and a huge win for cancel culture. Here's our political editor, Jane Patterson.
These long-awaited laws are now part of the government's plan to strengthen social cohesion in response to the Royal Commission of Inquiry into the Christchurch terror attacks. The National leader, Judith Collins, asked the Prime Minister and the House to explain what they will mean.
What is her definition of hate speech?
It includes, for instance, intentionally inciting, stirring up or maintaining hatred. So it's not just enough to have an opinion that someone considers to be abusive or threatening.
It's currently only an offence to use speech exciting hostility or bringing into contempt a person or group on the grounds of their colour, race or ethnicity. That could be extended to gender identity, sexual orientation, religion or disability, but that's still part of the discussion. Jacinda Ardern says it's the substantive issue.
We already have extreme speech or hate speech provisions in New Zealand. We've had them for the last 50 years. They were implemented by a national government. However, at the moment, they only apply to issues around race and ethnicity.
The opposition wants to know at what point insulting or offensive views could land someone in court. Jacinda Ardern said most cases to date have fallen down on the key test, incitement. She argued the threshold won't be lowered or broadened.
That is in particular because the current provisions refer to hostility, ill will, contempt and ridicule. They have replaced that word with hatred alongside the required to improve intentional incitement.
Judith Collins also questioned the size of the penalties.
Does she consider potential speech crimes more serious than assault on a child? If not, why is she proposing a longer maximum prison sentence for the speech crime?
Mr. Speaker, so the view of the Royal Commission was that the current penalties were not sufficient.
Justice Minister Chris Farfoy was pressed by National's Simon Bridges on what the changes would mean in practice.
Hasn't he in fact set the legal tests or bars for criminal and civil liability much lower than incitement to violence, so that potentially many more New Zealanders will be captured than would otherwise have been the case?
Mr. Speaker, no.
Mr. Bridges put a scenario to the Minister.
Would an off-colour joke about, say, Israel Folau, a Christian, or Laurel Hubbard, a member of the transgender community, under his proposals, potentially see someone penalised civilly or criminally in court with huge consequences for them?
Every case is different, replied Chris Farfoy, but citing the Royal Commission said it would be a very high bar.
The language of hatred and of calls for violence that we propose would catch only extreme speech. We do not see the reframed offence as engaged by microaggressions and so on, nor would it be a mechanism for criminalising the vigorous expression of opinion on controversial issues, and that is the approach that the government is taking, and I welcome the members' submission to the discussion document.
The deadline for that public consultation is the 6th of August.